You know how people say your whole life can change in 1 second? I used to think that was just something they said in movies. Until I saw that text. It was a regular Tuesday. I came home early, tossed my keys on the counter, and saw Jason's phone lighting up on the kitchen table. Not snooping, I swear, but the screen was facing up and I saw it. Still thinking about last night's smiling face with smiling eyes. Sent by Carly. Carly. My friend. My maid of honor. My, let's cry into wine at 2 a.m. person. And that moment? My heart didn't just sink. It plummeted. I picked up the phone. My hands were shaking, but I opened the thread. There were only a few messages, either deleted or brand new. Hers, I miss your hands. His reply? Just a winking emoji. I put the phone back. Face down. Like maybe that would bury it all. Jason walked in 10 minutes later with takeout and a fake smile. Kissed my cheek like nothing happened. Long day, he said, digging into his bag. Oh. I asked with Carly. He froze for half a second. Barely. But I noticed. Carly? Oh no. We just had a quick work thing. Work thing. Sure. I didn't push it. Not then. Because something inside me shifted that day. I didn't scream. Didn't throw things. Didn't even cry. I just stepped back. Like emotionally unplugging myself from the scene. Observing. Watching. Because I already knew. That message wasn't for me. That smile he wore at dinner? Not for me. That man sleeping in my bed? Maybe not even mine anymore. But I wasn't going to break down. Not yet. Because if he wanted to lie, fine. Let's see how far he's willing to go. And me? I'd play along. For now. After that text, things didn't explode, they shifted. Quietly. Like something invisible moved in and rearranged the furniture of my life without asking. Carly stopped texting. No more wine tonight. No more, guess what happened at work. No more memes at midnight that made me laugh out loud. Instead, I got the occasional heart emoji on a story. A quick like. Nothing real. And when I saw her, which wasn't often anymore, her hugs were stiffer. Her laugh? Off-key. Her eyes darted like she was afraid I could read them. She didn't have to say anything. I already knew. And Jason? Oh, Jason got so sweet it made me sick. Roses just because. Dinner reservations on a Wednesday. Random compliments that felt more rehearsed than heartfelt. I remember standing in front of the bathroom mirror one morning, brushing my teeth, and he walks in, looks at me, bed hair, no makeup, old hoodie, and says, "God, you're beautiful." It wasn't what he said. It was how he said it. Like he was trying to convince himself. He touched me more often, but the way you pet a dog who's about to bolt, not out of love. Out of fear. He thought he was being slick. That by playing the perfect husband, he could throw me off the scent. But he was wrong. Because I wasn't looking for proof anymore. I had it. That text burned into my memory. I was watching the performance. Watching them try to act like everything was still normal. I started noticing the things I used to ignore. Like how Carly changed her perfume. Something lighter, flirtier. How Jason shaved before random errands. How they both acted overly casual when their names came up in the same sentence. One time I said, haven't seen Carly in a while, and Jason, who had just taken a bite, literally choked on his food. Oh, he coughed, yeah. Guess she's been busy. Busy? Sure. And me? I played dumb. Smiled. Nodded. Poured him more wine. But inside I was mapping out a timeline. A pattern. A plan. Because here's the thing, when you realize your best friend might be sleeping with your husband, you don't just feel betrayed. You feel stupid. And I'm many things. But I'm not stupid. So I smiled wider. Listened harder. And every time he kissed my forehead or told me he loved me, I stored it away. Like evidence. Because if Carly wanted to disappear from my life, fine. But Jason? He still had a role to play. And I was just getting started. People think betrayal is a bang. A slap across the face. A door slamming in the night. Nope. It's quiet. It's in the way he says nothing much when you ask how his day was. It's in the way your best friend avoids eye contact. It's in the second glass of wine you pour just to stay calm while pretending it's all fine. And for me, it was in the silence of our bedroom at night. When Jason snored softly beside me and my brain kept spinning. That's when I started looking. I wasn't hunting for drama. I wasn't trying to catch him in a movie-style scandal. I just needed to know. For me, it started with his laptop. He left it open on the couch one night. Said he was tired. I waited until he was out cold, then opened the lid. No password. Amateur move. I didn't go digging through his email, too obvious. Instead, I opened Finder. Search for iPhone backup. And there it was. A full copy of his phone from 3 weeks ago. My hands were ice. I clicked. Photos first. Always photos. Scroll. 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 And then I saw it. Jason. Carly. Outdoors. Glasses of wine. A picnic blanket. He was wearing the shirt I bought him last Christmas, the one he said he couldn't find the week before. There were 6, maybe 7 photos. Him pouring her wine. Her with her head on his shoulder. Both smiling in that way people do when they think no one's watching. Only someone was. Him. He had taken selfies. And in not a single one of them was I present. I sat there staring at the screen while the house creaked and my heartbeat drowned everything else out. He told me he was on a work trip that weekend. He even called me from the hotel. Long meetings, he said. Exhausted, he said. Can't wait to be home. Meanwhile, Carly was there, clinking glasses with him under a golden sunset like they were on a damn honeymoon. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I downloaded the whole folder and renamed it, What He Forgot. I sat there until 3 a.m. Then I did the unthinkable. I climbed back into bed beside him. His body shifted toward me in his sleep, like muscle memory. I lay stiff, staring at the ceiling thinking, who are you? And who the hell am I to let this go on? But I already knew the answer. I wasn't letting it go. I was collecting it. Carefully. Quietly. Because the game had started. And I was done pretending I didn't hear the lies in his silence. It started because he left his watch. Jason never forgets anything tech-related ever. So when I saw his Apple Watch still charging on the nightstand, I noticed. He was rushing that morning, grabbing his keys, running late, kissed my cheek like usual. But the watch stayed. I wasn't planning anything. Honestly, I was cleaning, straightening up. Until I bumped it by accident and the screen lit up with a missed call and a voice memo. That's when I remembered, he syncs everything. Phone. Watch. MacBook. And apparently he records stuff. Curiosity isn't a sin. Not when you're living with a stranger. So I tapped play. At first, just background noise. A restaurant. Silverware. Low music. I almost stopped it. Then I heard him. Jason. Laughing. And then her. Carly. Her voice was so familiar it made my stomach twist. Carly, that night at the cabin. God, remember the wine? And you burned the pancakes the next morning. Jason, hey, those pancakes were fine. You were just too hungover to taste them. They laughed. Easy. Like two people who didn't need to pretend around each other. Then quiet. Then this. Carly, she still doesn't know, does she? Jason, not yet. Not yet. Those 2 words hit like a blade. Not no. Not, I told her. Not even, I'm figuring it out. Not yet. Like it was planned. Like it had a schedule. Like I was some calendar entry he hadn't gotten around to checking off. I sat on the floor. Back against the bed frame. Listening to them flirt. Whisper. Joke about places they've been. Places I hadn't known existed in our lives. At one point, Carly said, I almost feel bad. Jason replied, don't. She doesn't even suspect a thing. And I thought, you're right. I didn't. But now? I copied the file to my phone. Renamed it Proof. I sat there for an hour, letting that one recording replay like a song I hated but couldn't skip. Then I put the watch right back where it was. Plugged in. Same angle. He came home hours later, kissed me again. Smiled. Everything good? Yeah, I said. Sorry I forgot my watch. It happens. He didn't know the bomb had already gone off. He didn't know his voice had already betrayed him. And me? I had crossed a line too. I was done waiting for truth. Because now I had it. Cold. Mechanical. No room for doubt. Carly's laugh still rang in my ears when I made dinner. Jason sat across from me like nothing had changed. But everything had. I didn't scream. I didn't throw anything. I didn't even cry. Not that night. Instead, I became efficient. I waited until Jason left for work the next morning, same routine, same kiss on the cheek, same oblivious smile, and then I sat down with his laptop. Logged in like always. No password change. He still thought I was the same wife who used it to check grocery coupons. The same wife who trusted him. He was wrong. I went straight into the backups. iCloud Sync. Photos, voice memos, messages. It was all there. Like a digital diary of betrayal. Date stamped. Geotagged. Neatly sorted into moments. God, the irony. There was a video, shaky, vertical, Carly in a towel, laughing, holding a glass of wine. Jason behind the camera, saying, I could film you like this every day. She smiled and said, then tell her. Next clip, a hotel lobby. She kisses his cheek. He adjusts his hair in the mirror. So casual. So practiced. I copied everything. Screenshots. Audio. Notes. I wasn't even breathing heavy. Just working. Created a folder. Named it Travel Plans. Dragged it to a USB. Then emailed a zipped version to myself. Then a backup email. Then a cloud folder. Not because I needed it in 5 places. But because he didn't get to control this narrative anymore. Not after what I heard. Jason texted around noon. You want Thai tonight? I replied, sure. Surprised me. He thought I was planning our summer trip. I'd even left a browser tab open with beach houses to keep the illusion warm. Meanwhile, I was watching tutorial videos on legal prep, reading advice forums on divorce strategy, reaching out to a friend who once went through the same hell. She answered in 2 minutes, I've been waiting for you to call. That was the first time I let myself cry. Not because I was sad, but because I wasn't alone. That evening I made dinner. We watched something on Netflix. He picked a comedy. He laughed too loud. I watched him from the other end of the couch, every detail burned into my mind. The way he scratched behind his ear. The stupid joke he repeated. The beer he chose. And I thought, you think you're the clever one. You think I'm still the nice one. Maybe I was. But not anymore. Now I was prepared. The thing about betrayal is once you see it clearly you can't unsee it. And once you stop pretending, you don't go back. I stopped being nice. And started becoming very, very precise. I texted Carly on a Wednesday morning. Hey, haven't seen you in forever. Come by Friday? Just us. Like old times. She replied in under a minute. Would love to. Miss you. I'll bring wine. Of course she would. Jason didn't question it either. Said something like, you two need a girls' night. I smiled. We do. I set the table just like she liked it. Her favorite wine, white chilled. Goat cheese crostini, lemon pasta. Dessert from that overpriced bakery she always craved. She showed up right on time, full of fake laughter and empty compliments. You look amazing, seriously, she said. That blouse? So cute. I poured the wine. Toasted like nothing was wrong. We talked about shows, work, mutual friends. She avoided Jason's name like it might explode if spoken. I let her talk. I nodded. Smiled in all the right places. And then when the dishes were cleared I said, you know, I've been meaning to show you this. I reached into my pocket. Pulled out my phone. Opened the voice memo. Pressed play. Jason's voice filled the room. God, last night. I can't stop thinking about you. Carly's laugh followed. We shouldn't talk here. He said she doesn't know. Not yet. She whispered. Promise me you'll end it soon. I didn't look at her during the playback. I just watched the flicker of candlelight on the wineglass. When it ended, silence. I finally looked up. She was pale. Frozen. Mouth slightly open. I waited. No denial. No apology. Just a stuttered breath. Jenny. I raised my hand. You don't get to speak, I said. She blinked. Tears forming, not quite falling. You don't get to cry in this house. She stood. Grabbed her purse too fast. Knocked over her wineglass. Didn't even notice. I walked her to the door. Don't call. Don't text. Don't explain. I opened the door for her. Just leave. And no, you're never coming back. She didn't argue. Didn't slam the door. Didn't even say goodbye. She walked out into the night like a thief who finally realized someone was watching. And me? I locked the door. Turned off the lights. Sat in the quiet with the last of the wine. She used to be my best friend. Now she was just a voice on a recording. And a ghost I had no intention of keeping. He walked in like it was any other day. Keys jingling, jacket half off, grocery bag in hand. Hey babe, he called out. I grabbed that oat milk you like. I stood in the kitchen holding the paper. Not my usual smile. No welcome home kiss. Just stillness. He paused when he saw me. That second of confusion before realization punches through. What's wrong? I didn't speak. I held up the printout. His eyes dropped to the page. Froze. Then, that stupid, useless chuckle he did when he was nervous. This? Come on. This isn't what it looks like. I didn't move. He took a step closer. It was nothing. Just stupid flirting. Carly and we were just being idiots. I tilted my head. Quiet. He kept going. It didn't mean anything. I swear. It was dumb. I was dumb. Still silent. Then came the shift. His voice cracked. I messed up. Okay? I did. But I never stopped loving you. I never stopped being your husband. I looked him straight in the eye. That's not true. His shoulders dropped. Jenny, please. It was a mistake. I finally spoke. Calm. Cold. It wasn't the kiss. Or the late nights. Or the messages. I stepped forward. Held the paper between us. It's the fact that you let me sit across from her. Laugh with her. Tell her things I don't even tell my mother. He opened his mouth. I didn't let him speak. You let me defend her. You let me trust her. I tapped the page. You let me think I was safe. He closed his eyes. Like if he didn't see me it wouldn't hurt as much. I can fix this, he whispered. You can't, I said. Because the problem isn't Carly. He looked at me. The problem is you. He reached out. I stepped back. Jenny. No. The word stopped him. You don't get to touch me. Not now. Not after all the times you touched her and came home like nothing happened. He blinked fast. Tears forming. I didn't mean to. That's the thing, I said. You never meant to get caught. That's all. He sat down like his legs gave out. I walked to the hallway. Opened the closet. Tossed him the overnight bag I packed earlier. It's by the door. He didn't move. You should go. Still nothing. I'm giving you the easy way. Take it. He stood. Slowly. Didn't say another word. He walked to the door. Turned once. Hoping for something. I gave him the look he didn't expect. Not anger. Not heartbreak. Just finality. And that was worse. I filed for divorce on a Tuesday. Quietly. No announcement. No dramatic confrontation. Just paperwork. I filled out the forms like I was filling in a grocery list. Name, date, signature. Except instead of eggs and bread, I was crossing off trust and vows. When he was served I wasn't there. He texted. You're really doing this? I didn't answer. 'Cause yes, I was really doing this. The next time I saw him it wasn't at home. It was at the lawyer's office. He looked deflated. Like the wind had finally stopped pretending to hold up his sails. He tried to smile. I didn't. He said, can't we at least talk? I shook my head. There was nothing left to say. And that was the part that crushed him the most. The silence. The cold, matter-of-fact way I treated what used to be us. He started drinking more. I could tell from mutual friends, from little things he forgot to hide. I wasn't checking up on him. But news finds its way. And Carly? She vanished. Deleted her socials. Moved out of her place. A mutual friend said she transferred jobs. I didn't care enough to ask where. Jason's friends, the ones who once called me sis, who sat at our table, laughed at my stories, started ghosting him. Turns out betrayal isn't charming when it's public. And I kept going. I still made dinner. I still paid bills. I still watered the plants. But I stopped pretending. Stopped caring about being liked. Or understood. I was done. He tried in the weakest ways to win sympathy. Called me cold. Said I was throwing away a good man for one mistake. But it wasn't one mistake. It was hundreds of moments. Lies stacked on silence. Secrets folded into routines. Smiles hiding the rot. I didn't throw him away. He walked himself out. I just locked the door behind him. People asked how I was doing. I told them. Lighter. They asked if I missed him. I said. Only the version I thought he was. And when the final hearing came and the judge asked me if I agreed to the terms, I said the easiest word I've ever said in my life. Yes. Divorce isn't a tragedy. It's a sentence. And this time I wrote it. After the papers were signed and the keys were finally mine, really mine, I did the first thing that felt right. I changed the Wi-Fi name. Stupid maybe. But symbolic. No more Jason and Claire forever. Now it was no more lies. Literally. That was the password too. Felt like reclaiming something invisible but essential. Then came the couch. We had bought it together years ago at a discount showroom. Neutral beige. He'd insisted. Said it was practical. Said it matched everything. I hated that couch. I just didn't know why. Turns out it was the couch where he texted her while I folded laundry. Gone. Next was the bedspread. I threw it out. Every stitch of it. Pillows too. All of it soaked in a life I no longer believed in. The dresser? Rearranged. The chairs? Switched rooms. It wasn't redecorating, it was exorcism. I wasn't grieving a marriage. I was clearing out a performance. A long, slow, painful act where I clapped for a man who lied between applause. I moved the coffee table 2 inches to the left. No reason. Just because I could. I took down photos. Not in anger. Just because they didn't make sense anymore. The smiles weren't real. The frames felt dishonest. I kept one me and my sister in the mountains. That one stayed. For a few weeks the place felt like a hotel. Sterile. Like it didn't know me yet. But I kept going. New sheets. White. No patterns. No shadows. Fresh towels. Bright blue. My favorite color, not his. I painted one wall a soft sage green. Took 3 tries. I laughed when I spilled the can. Real laugh. Loud. No one to tell me to be careful. No one to roll their eyes. The silence felt like oxygen. Friends came over. They asked, "Isn't it weird being alone here?" No, not weird. Honest. For the first time in a long time, the walls weren't watching me pretend. The air didn't feel judged. The hallway didn't echo his steps anymore. One night, I lit candles. Not for mood. Just because I wanted to. I sat on my new couch, opened a book and didn't glance at the door once. Because no one was coming home late. No one was bringing secrets through that entryway. No one was making me wonder if the laugh I heard on the phone was meant for me or her. This house? It tells the truth now. It says, I live here. Just me. And that's enough. He wrote. At first every day. Long messages. Paragraphs. Please Claire. Can we talk? I miss you. It wasn't real. It didn't mean anything. Then came the guilt letters. I was lost. I didn't know how to fix myself. You were always too good for me. Classic. Then came the silence. And then the regret texts. You won. Hope you're happy. Wish you'd at least talk to me. I never answered. Not because I wanted him to suffer. Not because I was angry. But because there was just nothing left to say. What do you tell someone who turned your life into a lie? What do you offer a man who shared your bed and your best friend? Nothing. Not even words. I wasn't his wife anymore. I wasn't his Claire. I was Claire. Full stop. And the thing is, it took losing that entire illusion to actually feel like myself again. I started signing my name differently. Not legally, just when I wrote notes or filled out forms or left messages. Claire. Just Claire. Not Mrs. Anything. Not +1. Not attached to a man who couldn't keep a promise if it were stapled to his chest. I found myself in small things. Choosing a new coffee place because I liked the barista's sarcasm. Saying no to events I didn't care about. Buying earrings I knew he would have called too loud. They clicked when I walked. I liked that. I didn't become some inspirational Pinterest version of a woman who found herself. I just stopped apologizing for existing on my own terms. I didn't need to forgive him. I didn't need closure. I didn't need one final conversation where he cries and I comfort him for ruining everything just so he can feel okay walking away. No, that's not my job. I gave enough. I bled enough. And now? I laugh louder. I sleep better. I trust slower but deeper. I'm not bitter. I'm not broken. I'm not healed. I'm just here. Living. And if you ask who I am, I'll tell you. Just my name. Claire. No apologies.